Following news that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi would pursue an impeachment inquiry, the White House released a rough transcript of the call that appears to have triggered that action. Meanwhile, Republicans are calling the document a nothing burger.
But Democrats are currently all in. In an official statement, Illinois Congressman Brad Schneider, one of the first Democrats to call for action, issued a statement saying, in part, if, as I expect, the allegations are proven true, it is absolutely necessary for Congress to exercise its constitutional responsibility. If not now, if not for these actions, then when? Congressman Schneider, he's going to join us now to expand on this and discuss next steps. Thank you so much for being here, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's good to be with you this morning.
Absolutely. So let's begin first with this impeachment inquiry. Now, you currently say, based on the transcript, that you support an impeachment inquiry. Have you learned anything new with the whistleblower complaint?
Well, I know it came out this morning. I haven't had a chance to study it, but I think what we've seen already, first, the earlier announcements publicly by the president and his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, that these conversations took place. Pressure was applied to the president of Ukraine. Subsequently, with the memo describing the phone call, we saw very clearly that the president applied pressure, implied that it was an important thing for Ukraine to do for the president personally. It would be a favor. All of these are, to me, sufficient grounds to proceed forward with this impeachment inquiry.
Now, you were in favor of an impeachment inquiry even before these latest revelations. Do you think it's the right strategic move and the right ethical move to have only limited this impeachment inquiry to this Ukrainian situation?
I do, and let me explain. So over the course of the summer, I had come out and said we needed an impeachment inquiry related to the issues raised in the Mueller report. For me, I believe in the process. I believe the process should take us to facts. We follow the facts to their logical conclusion. Mueller didn't finish his investigations. He, for whatever reason, left it open for Congress to complete. Congress has not just the constitutional authority, but the responsibility to do so. But the administration was stonewalling, and that's why in August I said we need to raise to the level of a formal impeachment inquiry to get that information. But the new allegations, the Ukraine story in and of itself, is an entirely different lane and an entirely higher level. And this is a significant consequence. The president abused the power of his office. He put at risk our national security interests as well as our foreign policy objectives for his own personal and political gain. This is something altogether entirely different. It's present, not past. It's the president, not a candidate. And it's looking forward to securing our future elections, not understanding what happened in past elections.
I do want to ask you, though, Congressman, about the underlying accusation. Hunter Biden was paid $50,000 a month while his father was vice president of the United States to sit on the board of a Ukrainian energy company, despite having no expertise in that whatsoever. Do you think that that is evidence of corruption?
So all of this has been discussed in the press, and Ukraine has said there was no substance to that. The president has historically long been involved with conspiracy theories. This is yet another conspiracy theory.
But
we can't lose sight of this simple fact.
We know that Hunter Biden did, in fact, earn $50,000 on this board. That's not a conspiracy theory. We know that he has little to no expertise in Ukrainian energy sector. So is that unseemly? Is that the type of thing that we should be accepting from a prominent Democrat?
Again, that's a separate issue. There is no question that what the president is trying to do is to pressure an ally, a key strategic ally facing a dire threat from Russian troops, not just on their border, but in their territory, and putting U.S. interests at risk by withholding necessary military aid. Again, this puts at risk our national security.
Yeah,
so
I think we
leave it to
understand your
others.
position. I think we understand your position quite clearly. Let's make it a future event. If a Democrat wins the White House, should their vice president have a child who serves? Should they be allowed to have a child who serves on a foreign energy company's board with interests in the United States?
We can talk about what people should be allowed to invest in, what jobs they should be allowed to take. That's, again, a different issue. I know here in Congress we are required to file full disclosures of our financial positions, of any other positions we've had. I believe in transparency. I believe the American people have a right to understand that. But don't get lost in the discussion the fact that the President of the United States has abused the power of his office and put national interests ahead of our personal interests ahead of our national interest, risking our national security. That's my focus. That's what I want to hold this president to account, and that's what I believe this impeachment inquiry should focus upon.
Yeah, and Congressman, I think that's all fair. I think that this is an abuse of the office, no doubt. We could debate over whether it's impeachment worthy. But there's a political question here, too. Don't Democrats look hypocritical if they want to impeach the president for corruption while turning a blind eye to what may be lesser corruption on the Democratic side, but to say that, it's fine for a child to basically cash in on their parents' public service?
Again, I'm going to focus on the current office holder, the President of the United States, misusing his office, abusing his power, and putting his interests ahead of the national interest. That is my focus. We can have conversations about the other issues, and we need to have transparency from our elected officials. We need to get big corporate money out of our elections. All of those are things that we need to do to restore people's faith in our government. We have to do that. But at this moment, at this time, the issue is, did the President of the United States abuse his office, put national interests subordinate to personal interests, and put our country at risk?
Well, you're very
This
good
is
at
the
staying on
issue that
message,
we are
sir,
focused
so
on the impeachment.
we appreciate your
Thank you,
time very
Congressman.
much. Thanks so much.
Sure.
Coming up on Rising, with all the talk of impeachment, a new book takes a closer look at the man who would become president if the Democrats were in fact successful at removing Trump from office.
Author Tom LeBianco, he profiles Vice President Mike Pence and his time in the executive branch so far when Rising returns.